Although many of you may know me because of my involvement in the Geometry Dash community, another one of my hobbies is that of twisty puzzles, more commonly known as Rubik's Cubes. I've been solving twisty puzzles for roughly 6 years, and in this time, I've seen a lot of changes and developments occur in the speedcubing community. From the fall of stickered cubes to the rise of magnetic ones, many new trends and standards have revolutionized the world of cubing in just the last 6 years. However, one trend sticks out from the others, and not necessarily in a positive way. Out of all the developments that occurred in the last 6 years, this one seems particularly problematic, in part due to its rather counterproductive nature. Given how widespread this trend has become since its development, it has certainly earned its namesake as the trend that broke cubing. Naturally, when a significant trend occurs in cube development, it would make sense that such a trend would be beneficial to both the performance and quality of the cube itself. It's pretty basic logic that better cubes will sell better, so trends as a way of improving puzzles and therefore sales makes complete sense. To put it plainly, trends become trends because they are in some way favorable to the companies that produce puzzles and the cubers that consume them. However, there is one trend that I believe doesn't follow either the best interest of the cuber or even the companies themselves, that of matte or frosted plastic texture. Earlier in my time within the cubing community, stickerless cubes were still gaining popularity, with one primary difference from today's stickerless cubes, a glossy textured finish. As stickerless cubes became more and more favored over stickered cubes, an eventual development that occurred was a practically full shift from glossy texturing to matte or frosted plastic, which can be found on many if not most top speed cubes today. The question that remains is, why? When comparing glossy and matte texturing, there are objective advantages on the side of glossy plastic. For one, matte cubes often require a bit of use before the texture wears down, allowing the cube to be more grippy. Glossy cubes not only do not have this issue, but their surface is made to be grippy from the start, making for a much more convenient and ultimately more practical puzzle. In addition, having a more firm gripping puzzle reduces the chance of dropping or fumbling the cube during a solve, which is an obvious advantage for cubers who solve at a high level. In short, not only is a glossy cube more convenient out of the box, but it reduces the chance of slip-ups and allows for a more stable grip on the cube. So, revisiting my question, why did cube companies favor matte plastic over glossy? Well, my answer is, I'm not really sure. Of course, this kind of thing is heavily dependent on the cuber's preference, but even this seems to lean towards glossy style texturing. To test this theory, I reached out to two of the leading cube distributors in the world, thecubicle.com and speedcubeshop, to ask their opinions on cube textures. Angela from the Cubicle replied by saying that most of us prefer glossy plastic, citing ease of grip, less mistakes, and the comparative difficulty to wear down the texture of matte plastic. Meanwhile, Cameron Brown, the owner of Speedcube Shop, simply prefers glossy plastic because it looks better. Even if the trend of glossy to matte cubes is based on the preference of the cuber, there seems to be a significant group of cubers who still prefer glossy plastic over its matte counterpart. In other words, whether through an objective or subjective lens, I still don't see a purpose for this change. However, although the matte cube is the most prevalent at the current moment, it can also be said that the glossy cube is making somewhat of a resurgence. A good example can be seen in the background of this video, with the Moyu Weilong V9, which features a more glossy and grippy surface as a result of the UV coating technology. My experience so far with this cube has not only been fast, but also a good and stable grip due to the glossy UV finish. I'm glad that companies like Moyu are making the effort to bring back more glossy, grippy textures, even if their UV coating may make the cube a bit more expensive than it needs to be. I would love in the future to see glossy plastic brought back as a standard rather than premium feature, making such technology more accessible to all cubers. In any case, as it stands, matte plastic is still the dominant plastic texture in the cubing world. In my opinion, the cubing community would be much more well served to bring back glossy plastic, allowing for greater convenience and better cubes. In the end though, this is just my opinion, so I would love to hear yours in the comments below. This has been the story of matte textured plastic, the trend that broke cubing. Big thanks to Speedcube Shop and the Cubicle for offering their opinions, and thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and see you next time.